Hey guys, Dustin from VidWizards. We're going to help you blow up your YouTube channel by talking about the psychological aspects of brand building, engagement, and audience retention. Are you ready? This is the dank stuff that they don't tell you on Roberto Blake's channel or Sean Connell's channel or Daryl Eves. This is meme magic. And I talked with Mr. Beast just a little bit a couple of weeks ago at Vid Summit, and he knows about this. I can tell you that. Okay, so who am I to tell you anything right now? Let me switch back over to my channel so you can see this. If you haven't seen my channel already, I've had some really famous meme videos. Let's see, I know I'm kind of in the way here. If I zoom in, you can kind of see these videos here. 2.6 million views, 2.4 million views. And these are all just sounds and graphics and text to speech. It is rocket science the way I've approached this, because I don't get on camera. I create an idea out of nothing. And I take sounds and images and light and colors, and I combine them all into a symphony of emotional textures, and it has a purpose and a point. I've reverse engineered every aspect of being a YouTuber, and this is what I came up with. And it blew up, 100 to 200,000 subscribers in under 2 years. So now I'm going to show you how to apply the same techniques to build your YouTube channel, even if you're not in this niche. This will work for any niche, okay? This stuff is universal. Meme magic, the techniques behind mimetic storytelling are universal, okay? All universal. So let's jump back over to this grand creation. We're going to start with taking a deep breath. Sometimes I don't breathe. I should work on that. So here we have, we're going to start with this one, Primal Branding. You need to know your Primal Brand, even if just at a subconscious level. I don't really have this written down somewhere for myself, but it was one of the first steps in becoming a YouTuber many years ago when I learned about this. It's when you learn to see primal branding in yourself and in others and in huge companies and small companies, even in churches, you begin to suddenly see the moving building blocks of brands and what keeps people engaged. So the Primal Brand, what's the freaking Primal Brand? It's rituals, leader, origin story, creed, sacred words or language, and then icons. That's 6. Shoot, there's a 7th one. Non-believers is the last one. 7 aspects. And look that up. Look up this list. Actually, I'll put a link in the description so you can go to vidwizards.com and you can just read the list and get some cool examples and start to think about, when next time you watch something and how it makes you feel and what the brand is on a primal level that's attracting you. Okay. I think breathing will be one of the rituals on this channel. Okay. Supergroups. Who are you related to? Okay. In my case, it was Bizanacci and Prince of Zimbabwe. They had come before me. They had done an amazing job making some hilarious memes. And I actually grew so big that people still think that I am Bizanacci and or Prince of Zimbabwe. They also think I run Low Budget Stories channel, and they think I run all the Wojak channels. It's really funny because I'm the only person who kind of stepped out and said, "Hi, I have a real name. I'm not just Anon," So everyone just assumes that it's me, right? Pretty funny. So supergroups, if you're a top YouTuber in the Hollywood kind of way, maybe Jeffree Star and Tati and James Charles, right? They're all kind of related in the genre of like makeup. Okay. If you're into comedy on YouTube and Let's Plays, you know, Game Grumps, PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, you know, they've all collaborated at some level, right? If you're into entrepreneurship, and you might think of like Alex Hormozy, Russell Brunson, and maybe Alex Becker. Alex Becker's, he's funny because he doesn't really like, he's only once or twice mentioned that he's worked with Alex Hormozy, but he kind of doesn't collaborate with anybody. But we all know there's these groups of people. So you can actually make yourself related to groups of people just by showing up like they do, talking about them and interactions with them, going to their events and meeting them. You know, there's lots of ways to game that and to become known in your niche. So that's kind of an easy one. It does take some time though. You can't just like push a button and become one of the tribe, but it will happen over time. So work on that. Now we have one sentence persuasion. One sentence persuasion. You can build a massive, massive brand if you understand this and put it to work in your business. So what do I mean by that? Well, one sentence persuasion is allay their fears, justify their failures, throw rocks at their enemies, confirm their suspicions, and encourage their dreams. Those 5 things. And if you were paying attention, you noticed that I actually started this since I started pointing at that. I started by saying, you can do it, right? So what was I doing? I was encouraging your dreams, right? And those pesky gurus who don't tell you the real juice behind building a brand, those guys, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. I did that earlier. I was throwing rocks at the gurus, telling you that I'm better and smarter. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. Don't throw rocks at yourself. Okay, so those 5 things, link in the description if you want to start utilizing that in your storytelling. I'm going to bring up here something really quick, which is Alex Hormozy. Let's just like bring this up here really quick. I probably shouldn't show all my file. Whoops, I probably shouldn't. Bear with me here, guys. I refuse to edit any videos, so I just won't edit videos. Okay, so here it is. Check this out. Check this out. It's going to blow your mind. Check it out. So I went through here, and I took a look at all of Alex's content, and you know, I just drew different colors for each one of the things. So when someone goes to your YouTube channel, for whatever reason, usually it's because YouTube recommends it, they're at some point, if they liked it, your video, they're going to stop by your channel and say, okay, should I subscribe? Is this going to be good in the long term? And you want them to watch lots of your videos. That's the number one thing that separates like mediocre channels from like channels that get massive growth from YouTube. Watch time and sequential viewing session. So you want to start a long viewing session. And so Alex Hormozy's done this pretty well. And you can see how he uses one sentence persuasion in his content. So the ones with the red circles are encourage their dreams. And this is the thing he's been doing the most lately. He spends a lot of time encouraging people's dreams. How do I zoom out? So, and you can see like the purple one here, broken dead and almost dead to 100,000. How I did it, right? And he's all beat up in the thumbnail. So that is justifying failure, right? You can do it even if you're a drunken lunatic who crashes their car, right? And then some other ones like, do this if you're stuck, okay? Don't be afraid, right? You're allaying their fears with this. The confirming their suspicions. I spent $2 million and it didn't make me happy. $2 million and he's not happy. Wow. That confirms my suspicions that making a lot of money actually won't fulfill me. Why I quit advertising is a great one. Why I quit advertising. And he's like, it's like, zoom in on this one. There we go. You can see like, he's all like, you know, in bed at night. It's like late night thoughts. I quit. I quit. And this is why. So great job. Alex Hormozi is just killing it. And pretty much all the rest of the thumbnails are, encouraging dreams. So I tell you all of this because I want you to start to think about how you can influence. I'm not on camera right now. I'm off camera. I'm telling you this because I want you to start to look and notice when your suspicions are being confirmed, when your dreams are being encouraged, when someone's throwing rocks, when where there's a ritual of something that we do. Okay, start to notice this and then start to implement it in your brand, in your company, in your YouTube videos, in your podcast. Okay, this is so powerful. So I think we just covered all of this. Sweet. You're making progress. So to recap, know what the primal branding is. Click on the link in the description so you can study that more and start noticing it on my channel. Notice it in other people's channels. Notice it everywhere. Notice it in, Coca-Cola. Right? That's one of the big examples Patrick Hanlon, author of the book, talks about. Just start noticing it everywhere, okay? In Instagram, when you go on Instagram, what are like the rituals that Instagram is shoving down your throat, Know your supergroups, who are you related to, and know your one-sentence persuasion. Boom! That's part one. And because I'm going to just drop as much value as possible, we're going to go through several of these other pieces. This should be broken out into multiple videos, but I'm lazy and I've got other things to do, so let's just drop all the value today. We talked about demographics and psychographics. I put a little note here under this one. So for me, I did not like doing any sort of writing about the demographics and psychographics of my ideal viewer. I didn't like it. I don't want to sit down and just like make up a bunch of I don't get it. I'm just making up stuff about oh yeah, okay, they're probably male and they, here's how much income they probably have, and but my content's really good, so maybe people who are rich and poor will like it. I don't know, right? How do you begin to project confidently what your demographics and psychographics are? I hated that exercise. But as I found my audience, later on, I realized that I was doing it subconsciously. I was subconsciously thinking about the demographics and psychographics of my audience because they were me. So here's my tip, okay? Write down all the details that even seem insignificant at first. And as you collect this information, exciting patterns will begin to emerge from this boring data. And that's the apex, guys. If you're starting a YouTube channel, the data seems boring until you start noticing patterns. Then it's exciting, okay? That one's for free. Blowing your mind right now. If you're bored, just try to start finding patterns. When you find those patterns, that's when everything gets whoa, it starts blowing your mind. It's like finding the perfect gift for someone you love. If you know all about their life, you can surprise them with something really special that's just it's like a puzzle piece. You just give them that perfect gift and they're just whoa, that's exactly what I wanted. How did you know? How did you know? That's exactly what I wanted for Christmas. How did you know? And that's what it should be like every time you upload. And if you don't love someone, it's pretty hard to give them the perfect gift. It's just, they're not gonna have that reaction if you don't truly care. It's impossible to do that if you don't really care. You don't have the bandwidth to pretend to care. So yeah, there we go. Check all that out. Online behavior, offline behavior. Who are your people? What do they do? How do they think? Now, on the topic of people, let's talk about the feedback loop between the people pattern feedback loop. This graphic could probably use some work, but we're going to work with it for now. So the person making the creative decisions in your content creation must also be looking for patterns in the comments, right? If you have the content creator and then like someone who answers comments, it's not going to work. Okay, if you know Russell Brunson and his YouTube channel, which only has a few more subscribers than mine, which is hilarious because he's Russell Brunson. He offers way more value in the grand scheme of things than I do on my meme channel. But he answers comments. I think he answers comments, but he doesn't make creative decisions about the content to build the parasocial relationship. So the feedback loop is the parasocial relationship, okay? And the algorithm amplifies this feedback loop the more you invest in it in ways that persuade and influence your audience. Those 5 things: one sentence persuasion, fears, dreams, failures, enemies. Well, I don't remember this last one. So when you do that, you're going to need to look in the comments. Start to see what kind of things people are saying. What kind of pictures do they have, right? Are they men? Are they women? Are they young? Are they old? Are they, meme accounts? Are they leaving really long comments that are really like descriptive? Are they all saying like, great, I love this, great, I love this, and never getting any real feedback? I have a friend with a channel. I don't know where it's at right now, but yeah. So this is the number one thing that determines what kind of content you make. You need to look at what people are saying about your content and then make more content for those people. Okay? That's it. Moving on. Very important that you understand that and that you do it. And if you're noticing that you're getting comments that are like really annoying, let's talk about the negative comments. So if you notice a bunch of people uploading a particularly negative comment or a pattern of negative comments with similar criticism, these people likely represent your core viewers and you should listen to them. But then if you get like a one-off comment that's just like horrible and rude, but like cuts close to the bone because they're just insidious like that, don't let it bother you, okay? So yeah, 2 sides to that. If a lot of people are saying the same thing, okay, time to listen. If one person is just like being a rude lunatic, and you can tell that like it cuts close because they've clearly been watching and they know exactly how to get under your skin, that's going to happen. Okay? Don't worry about it. But pay attention. And if you have a big blunder, you need to address it. There are channels out there I've seen that they make one big mistake and then they don't address it and it just kills their whole channel because they have these people who follow them around just disliking everything they do, right? There are people out there who will literally like give up. They'll sacrifice everything just to mess with you. Their only goal is to ruin what you do. There are some really nasty people out there. I've seen this happen before. It's some channels and creators attract it, some don't. But if you do have something like that happen, diffuse it, okay? Diffuse it with an addressing the drama type video. Engage faithfully, engage humbly, engage authentically. And if trolls continue to berate you, just lean into it. Lean into the barbs until they run out of ammo, right? They'll give up eventually. But if you don't address it, they'll just keep following you. I was watching this happen on, was it Singed? Shoot, I can't remember his name. But this dude, same thing. He's refusing to address the drama. He's pretending like it didn't happen. And so everyone's just like following him around, disliking everything he does. And they've been doing that for months. It's crazy. I don't get, people are nuts sometimes. Yes, the juicy stuff, the spice. Okay, so over here, we have the list of content, the big list of content buckets. I'm going to put a link in the description so you can check this out on the website, on the blog that I have to write. Go click on that link. It'll be up by the time you see this, maybe. Go click on it. It's great. Awesome website. I have the best website in the world. It's the greatest. It will help you get clear about the content that you want to make and how, and the content you should make, and then how you're going to blow up. And so here's some of the really good stuff. Okay. So I love this. This is the stuff that I had to study before I grew like big time on YouTube. I started asking this question. I started saying, well, I'm failing on YouTube. How am I going to do this? And I went through and I thought, like, what are all the things that like Jenna Marbles and Pewdiepie and, Philip DeFranco and Markiplier and some of these like early like 2000s, 2013 to 2017 kind of YouTubers, what were they doing that was working so well for them? I found some patterns. Okay. A couple patterns that I found are wearing a funny hat, having funny facial hair, having a funny haircut, dyeing hair or wearing wigs. For some reason, cross-dressing isn't in here. That's supposed to be in here. Where is it? For some reason, cross-dressing is missing. This is one of the core things that they've all done. They've all cross-dressed. If you want to be big on YouTube as an entertainer, definitely cross-dress. I can tell you that it works because all the biggest YouTubers do it, okay? I think that would probably fall under dress up, which is somewhere on this list. So I tried this. You cannot find that video now anymore, but I know I do have a fan who really liked it, and he actually made his entire Facebook profile image on the back, a picture of me with pink hair dressed up as a woman. So thanks for that. It's a great way to ingratiate those core fans. I asked him to take it down because I was like, I don't really like this anymore. It's not who I don't do that. But again, you have to try this stuff, okay? You have to try this stuff. It's going to have a big effect on some people, even if, in this case, for me, it was kind of like the wrong people. But anyway. Okay, so God wrote to the Israelites, it is an abomination. Anyway, yeah, this stuff right here. This is the juice, okay? You'll see this in all my videos, this production spice here. Pattern interrupts, which there have been maybe some verbal ones in this, but none auditorily because, again, I'm never editing a video again. I don't edit videos anymore. I've put in my 10,000, 80,000 hours. I'm done. Someone else can do that. I will teach, though, if you want to learn. So yeah, music sets the vibe, and then pattern interrupts, and then mimetic sound design, and then perfectly cut screams. These are all really good things. I have a much bigger list somewhere of things you can do in the edit that are going to spice things up, but all of that's super good, especially if you're an entertainer. We'll give more examples of this. Link in the description if you want to see examples of this. I'll have to do another video talking about like my videos and how I implement this. But one of my favorite examples is my video Life of Belle Delphine, which has I think over 1 million views now. The video opens with like, well, let's just show it. Let's just show it because you need to see this. Okay, it's right here. some lag there. But like, what is that? Like, first of all, I know only like 10 seconds has passed, but that was like 6 hours of editing right there. Okay. And as with most of my videos, I build out the whole video and then I go back to the beginning to make sure that the beginning is like really, really banging and potent. So I actually, initially, like I just had like a basic classroom scene where she was like in the classroom and bored or something. And then I actually decided to like completely revamp that whole intro because, you know, we have this music and we zoom in and then. Right. So again, when you click on the video and you're like, what is Life of Belle Delphine? I've captured your attention and then done it again and then stopped everything and then done it again and stopped everything and then done it again. Right. And it invokes curiosity. Like, why is she thinking of a gun in a classroom? That's suspicious. So I love this example because there's like 5 pattern interrupts in the first few seconds. Okay. When we get into editing stuff, if you want to click on my website and check out the editing tutorials, we'll talk more about the what it takes to actually build intros like that. Because what you don't see in this is like the 40 freaking layers of sounds and images and all the sound design. There's so much sound design going on that, you know, when I pop open my editor, you're going to be like, right? It's just not what you expected at all. So that's the stuff that most YouTubers aren't telling you, is that there's this massive amount of sound design that goes into entertaining videos. Okay. What to talk about now? Influencer power moves. Okay. These are a little different, but they're funny and they work. Roasting your circle is a good one. You see PewDiePie do this all the time. He's just like always making fun of Jacksepticeye. And he'll literally put Jacksepticeye in the thumbnail and just say, like, I suck. Right? He's just, you know, they're friends, so they can do that. Right? Collaborating with other YouTubers, surprising other YouTubers, getting injured on camera. Don't recommend that, but it will make you famous. Drinking on camera. Can't say, it depends on what you're drinking. Making a mess. Hair cake. Who's seen hair cake? Hair cake, absolutely legendary video. Hair cake is the pinnacle. I'm not going to play it because it's disgusting. This is one of the most disgusting videos you can ever find. It went trending back when YouTube allowed actual videos to trend. Now they manipulate everything. But this is back at the golden days where like shit posting was allowed, and the hive mind, when they found a funny shit post, could actually amplify that straight to the top of YouTube. Beautiful days. Those are the golden days of YouTube. Back before YouTube was like, advertisers might not like the fact that Americans want to watch Filthy Frank and his friends cut each other's hair and throw up in a cake. Anyway. Okay. And eating on camera, of course. Mukbangs. PewDiePie has done this many times. Not in like a mukbang sense, but just like hanging out and like eating some food. I have some eggs I've been thinking about breaking on camera. If I was in a different mood, I would probably just, you know, do that right now. But, oh yeah, eras. We have to talk about eras. So important. So eras of content. And it's funny, I keep using PewDiePie as an example for this because PewDiePie is just, he's done everything. He's been on YouTube the longest and he's just done everything. So eras. We go through different eras with our content. And this is signified usually by a change in environment. So in PewDiePie's case, he's currently in this like studio in his so he's currently in this studio here. You can see this studio here. But there was like a few years ago when he was in a completely different, it's going to take forever to scroll for me to like find it. Eras. We're talking about eras. I was going to show you PewDiePie. Couldn't find it. I mean, I could dig and I don't really want to do that. But he used to have this studio where, you know, he had all this like foam behind him and he like spray painted it all with like a white spray can and just like random patterns, right? And so what's the point of this? Doing something as seemingly silly as like, spraying a bunch of, why? Why? So it's ugly and weird and random. But he's doing this because sometimes that's the perfect thing you need to spark curiosity and give people like a memory. Another part of this is when you make a video, it's good to like show up differently in each video somehow. That way, when people are thinking like, oh, what's the video where he talked about this? They'll remember what it looked like, and then they can find it easier based on like the thumbnail or the title or whatever. Ideally, it's all like super easy to remember, and it's unforgettable. That's kind of hard to do. I remember I was looking for an Alex Hormozi video where he talked about a specific topic, something very specific he was talking about, and I just couldn't find this video. Kept looking and looking and looking, and all I could remember was like, it was the video where he like talked about the sunlight, because the sun was in his eyes. I remember it was like this one video where the sun was in his eyes, and then he talks about this thing, and I really wanted to hear it. And the human brain is limited in how much information it can hold. There's a limit on how many people you can remember in your brain. And so to take up space in people's brains and make it easy to take up space in their brains, you want to make sure that you're doing stuff that is picture-wise is memorable, right? Because people remember things in pictures. So remember that. Keep that in mind. How can you link this picture of what you're doing, right? And in this case, this whole picture is like, you're going to remember this as like the ultimate guide to being a YouTuber. So yeah, do that. So other things to talk about here, we've covered almost everything really. Oh yeah, like put a Band-Aid on your nose. That was one of the bits here. Because I noticed Alex Hormozi does this in like a bunch of his videos. He's got like a little thing on his nose. I don't know why. I don't even know what that's for medically. I'm sure there's a reason. But doing stuff like that helps people remember your face. Helps people remember who you are, why you do things. Having a funny haircut helps people remember who you are, why you do things. So become aware of that. Be willing to change if you want to be remembered by people. Okay, and of course we've got content buckets. This is just a massive list. If you want to get access to this whole image and all the content buckets and like the different things that they link to, you should click on the link in the description, go to my website, go to the big list of content, and then you can find video examples of all of these different topics. I've painstakingly gone through and added video examples to, I think, almost all of these now. It will help get you inspired and think of the possibilities of the type of content that you can make. And then, of course, we have the ultimate goal of YouTube, which is to serve the right person, the right video at the right time, and then keep them watching as long as possible so you can show them more ads. And this happens, and then this happens. So clickbait, the impression, followed by the hook, which is like making it really awesome right off the bat, the story, and then the CTA, which is, it may be like, go to my website and, engage with my business. Or it may be watch more videos. By the way, that's the number one thing YouTube wants, is for them to watch more videos. YouTube actually doesn't want you to start sending people off of the website and onto your website, because they just lose money if you do that. I'm violating that rule in this video because I actually really want to help you. Does that make sense? And I think that covers everything other than this little thing that I wrote here, which says, become known for something, faith and action. I know I've just spilled like a ton of information on you, and it's going to be difficult for you to like consciously think about all of this. It's like dancing. If you're dancing, you're not going to be consciously thinking about like every single thing that you're doing, or like playing baseball. You can't, if you're thinking about every detail as an athlete, you're going to mess up. You need to be in the zone. You need to have faith that you have a good foundation, you've been taught well, and you can execute on an unconscious level just by letting it happen. And the first thing that you can do to start to get to that level is to relax and notice all of these things in other people's content, right? Notice how they're getting attention by moving chairs around. If you're Benjamin Cohen, the chairs are always in different positions in the background, right? Little things that are boosting engagement, little things that you are doing and that your audience is saying that are enhancing the parasocial relationship, enhancing the feedback loop. And as you grow, you'll begin to recognize the aspects that give you the most leverage, get you the most subscribers. And so this is all the psychological stuff. In the next video or in other videos, we'll talk about the design stuff, laws of good design, using Photoshop to make your thumbnails. I will never edit videos anymore because I've done that my whole life and it's not getting me really anywhere. I will, however, make Photoshop thumbnails. I love Photoshop. It's easy to use, and I can, I don't mind sitting in Photoshop for a while making a thumbnail. My editor will do the editing. I will do the thumbnail because I just love it. So you're going to need to know the tools. This is just the conceptual shit. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Make sure you subscribe for more. I almost forgot. Last but not least is this. This is actually the most important part. Let me explain. The story brand meta narrative is the belief that people have about your existence. Okay? It's the soul of your brand, and I put it in clouds, and it's this metaphysical narrative, and it's big. It's way bigger than just you. I mean, it is you. It's like your soul, right? And like it dictates everything about your brand. It's the frame by which people approach your content. Okay? It's the authority that you have for whatever reason, right? For me, my claim to fame is blowing up my main channel with memes and video editing and sound design, right? That's my meta frame. That's what my brand authority is, because that's the thing I'm most recognized for, right? It would be maybe kind of hard for me to go and just like completely switch lanes to something completely unrelated. Okay, so Alex Hormozi, why does anyone pay attention to him? Well, he's become incredibly successful as an entrepreneur. He's on his way to becoming a billionaire, right? That's the meta narrative, that's he's working toward, and he's built this incredibly successful line of gyms. And these portfolio businesses, right? So that's the meta narrative. Pewdiepie, the meta narrative is just he's the funniest YouTuber on the platform. He's the big brother of YouTube. He's always been there, always will be. He's a really nice guy, and everyone likes him. That's the meta narrative, right? And the meta narrative is reinforced by the fact that he gets so many impressions. Even if you don't watch PewDiePie videos, you probably still get his impressions. Mr. Beast, it's a very similar meta narrative. Just like he's the biggest, most famous, the fastest growing YouTuber ever, right? So that's the meta narrative, right? What's the meta narrative of the United States of America? Depending on what stage of evolution you're in, it may be the land of opportunity, the greatest country in the world. But to other people, it is, the great fallen state of America that's completely collapsed. That's where I'm at in that I have no hope for this country at all. I will be leaving once I have enough money. Too much information. So that's the meta narrative, the big overarching frame of the authority and the person and the soul behind it. Where is it going? Where is it leading to? And everything feeds back into that. So remember, who are you to the marketplace? Who are you to the fans? Who are you to your family? These are the questions that you have to ask as you build your brand.